night.
Hi everybody, talking to you from Miami now, and welcoming everybody from the family to the fourth Askara for Eema. And it's 4 years already. Seems like a very long time and a very short time at the same time, because a lot of things have happened in the last 4 years, and Baruch Hashem, a lot of good things, with new grandchildren born, and with 2 names given for Eema, with 2 of the grandchildren, and Baruch Hashem simchas that have gone on to make up for that one major tragedy that occurred years ago. We should continue meeting under these occasions.
Eema always used to call me her favorite. Now I know really I wasn't her favorite. She had no favorite. She cared and loved for all her children and eventually her grandchildren the same. But I guess one thing I was her oldest child. And in that regard, every stage of life that she experienced, I guess, was the first with me. So whether it was going to high school or university or Israel or marriage or grandchildren, I guess through me was her learning experience. I still remember when she came to visit me in Israel, she made the mistake of going to visit the dormitory where her child lived. And she was there with Adina, and they found the bathroom and saw the mushrooms growing on the sink from mold in the bathroom. And I think that was the last time she went to go visit one of her kids' dorms. But Eema left a great legacy in this world, even though she left us at an early age with her children and grandchildren, and we will never forget that.
It was Thursday morning, September 11th, 2 days past my due date with Zach, and I woke up around 5 in the morning with a contraction. The mayor said, Shayna, if this is something, we better start making our way to the hospital because it's going to be traffic, it's rush hour, I have to call my mother to come over to be with the kids. And I said, no. It's September 11th and I am not having a baby on September 11th. So I tried to go back to bed, but the contractions kept coming. And then the kids woke up and they went downstairs, and I went downstairs with them. And I remember walking into the den, and all of a sudden a terrible contraction was coming, and I was kneeling down on the floor, and Mayor's like, Shayna, I'm calling my mother. So 2 minutes later, Eema was there by my side, and she looked me in the face and she said, Shayna, you're in labor. And I know we all hate to admit this, but my mother-in-law was right, and 3 hours later, Zach was born. And right away, Eema said, now you made it a good day. She was always looking at the positive. It was so nice having Eema around the corner. She was always so helpful, and she really always wanted the best for us. I've learned so much from Eema, and one thing specifically is that Eema made every effort to attend a simcha. Unfortunately, there were times when she wasn't able to. And from that, I've learned that if you are able to, and you can, you should take part in someone's simcha and share with them a happy occasion. We have so many wonderful memories, and with that, we'll remember Eema forever.
Eema had a lot of good qualities, but what I always remember about her the most is that she always had a very easygoing nature about her, and she always saw the good in people and never the bad. And so she would always talk to my friends and my sibling friends as if she really enjoyed talking with them. And it was funny at first when she would talk to people who were like 5-6 years old, but she really enjoyed talking to people. She had a wide array of friends from all different walks of life, from the people at Sobeys to the Italian people at Concord, and all the people at the hospital. And she just always saw the good in people, never the bad. And she always, even if ever anyone did anything bad, she would always say, yeah, but maybe there was a reason that they did it, or something like that. She always only saw the good. I always feel bad that Eitan and Binyamin, they'll have to know Eema through the memories and through the pictures and through the stories we tell her, but it still won't be the same as if they actually got to meet her like some of the older grandkids did. But you know, hopefully through these stories and stuff, they'll realize who Eema was and is. And
it's very hard for me to talk about someone I didn't know, but one thing about Eema that Shui always says is that everyone always liked my mother. That she always saw the good in other people, and they in turn saw the good in her. As an example of this, my mother even said after Eema's passing, she said, I spoke to her one time on the phone, and already I liked her so much. Miriam also said to me one time that everything that Eema did for her family, she did out of love and out of a softness of character. So I always thought that the 6 Cohen kids were so lucky to have such a mother like that, because not many people are like that. I think that you were all lucky to have a mother who had such nice midos, that you were able to learn from her and hopefully incorporate those midos into yourselves and pass them on to your children. Her neshama should have an aliyah, and she should be a malitzas yosher for everyone.
I think about my mother. One of the things I think about is the fact that she would make sure that her family was well taken care of. When I was in yeshiva, one of the years I wasn't eating the food there, and my mother would come up once or twice a week to bring me a hot meal to make sure that I was well fed and having the proper food for that year. As well, she also would bring me up food for my little business that I was running on the side. She made sure that I always had enough stock so that I could run my business. And those are some of the things that I remember about my mother.
We think about Eema a lot in this house, not only because we have a Gloria, but also because there's lots of things that we do and have incorporated into our house that used to be done in Eema's house. The kugel Friday night is Eema's recipe. We've been making that kugel, or I've been making that kugel, since literally I've got married, because Yehuda was very insistent that his mother's kugel was the best and I needed to make it. So every week we make Eema's kugel, and because it's Eema's kugel, her name usually gets brought up on a Friday night, and we end up talking about her and saying stories about her and things that she does. There's lots of recipes that I do also make that have her name next to them. So, anytime I make them, I always say that they're from Eema, and then again, usually we'll talk about her and say some nice story or something that she did. And one of the things we also do in this house is when the kids are sick, we don't give them orange juice or water to hydrate them with fluids. We give them popsicles, because that's what Eema did with all the kids in her house, and it's way funner. So Yehuda's incorporated that into our house, and the second any of the kids get sick, he runs out to go get popsicles for the kids, and again, always tells the kids that this is what my mother used to do to make me feel better when I was sick. So Baruch Hashem, we have a lot of different things in our house that we've started doing because of Eema, and that way we really end up talking about her a lot, and that the kids really feel like they know their grandmother and know the different things that she's done.
Hashem Elokeinu Yishama B'Yarei Yehuda U'B'chutzos Yerushalayim U'B'chutzos Yerushalayim Meheir Hashem Elokeinu Yishama B'Yarei Yehuda U'V'chutzos Yerushalayim U'V'chutzos Yerushalayim Kol Sason Simcha Kol Chasan V'Kol Kala Tzalos chasonim mechupasan Uniarim imishtei neginasan
My mom was the ultimate selfless, most caring, most genuine, sensitive person I've ever met. And I hope to continue her legacy through me and my kids. And I try and teach them and think what Bubby would do in certain situations. And I know she always, like for example, at Sobeys or anyone, she would always speak to them and try and be kind and sweet no matter what position they have or what they do or how much materialistic stuff. She wasn't into that. She was very into just each person being who they are, and it showed me to respect everyone, and it also showed me to be caring to anyone because you don't know what's going on in their life. And my mother was the strongest woman I ever knew. And I don't think she realized her strength, but I saw it through her sickness and when she was healthy. But she was strong, and it taught me to be strong and also to realize what's important in life. To her, it was all about us, the kids, and her family. And she's really taught me my priorities, and that lesson will always be within me, and me and my kids will always cherish Eema, Bubby forever, and we love you, Bubby.
What I have learned from Eema, she truly was a magnificent individual, a phenomenal lady that I was privileged to know very well and be close to as part of the family. She really went above and beyond in everything that she did. When I did first move into the family, she really made me feel at home. That love and dedication that she has for everyone, family and also friends, was something that I always gravitated to. The commitment that she had for her family was second to none, and I can see it with her children, my brother-in-laws, my sister-in-laws, as well as the next generation down, that they have all the qualities and the good deeds that she passed on to all of us. We truly miss her. We love her to bits.
Something that I'll always remember and cherish about Eema is the frequent shopping trips that she used to take us on that were so important to her and meant so much to us as well. Specifically the New York ones, and when we went shopping for my Sheva Brachos, and every time I look at the outfits that I still have, it's something that I remember about those fun times that we had. Also in Montreal, we spent the day there. She just took me for the day so that we could find a wedding gown for myself, and we were successful, and this was something that wasn't easy for her. We, you know, especially in a day, we went to the gown place and to the restaurant to eat, and here and there and back to the airport and for shoes and all these different places. It was not easy for her, and she really didn't complain, and she made it a really good time for us, and it's something I'll always remember. Another thing I wanted to say is that I realized how much I really learned from Eema, and the way that I raise my kids is really based on what I've learned from her and how she raised us. And you know, after the baby was born specifically, that's why it just came to mind. Someone was over and they said, oh, remember, you know, you can't do this, you shouldn't put her in there until 6 weeks old or till that amount of weeks old, and all these different things she's telling me. And I said, oh yeah, of course I know that. You know, my mother used to tell me that, and my mother always did this or told my sisters that, or brothers, you know, different things, and they were like surprised, because for young people, a lot of people don't know these things that are just common sense to me, but not to many other people, because that's not the way they were raised or taught. And one last thing I wanted to just share is that I also learned about about Eema was that when I used to take her, unfortunately, for her chemo appointments to the hospital, she used to know, she used to make conversation with everyone and be so friendly to them, and they would know her by her name and she would know them by her name, everyone there, the nurses, the staff, the technicians, everyone, because she really was so friendly and caring to them, even though it was such a hard time in her life, and she really made the most of it. And it's such an important lesson that we should all take, that you know, no matter how difficult it is, it's so important to be nice and caring to other people, and that's something that everyone has said about her and will always remember.
Her life revolved around her children. Her life revolved around her grandchildren. She would go to all of her grandkids' performances, special events. She would be at their schools. Their friends knew who she was, and I believe that all the grandkids appreciated that, and hopefully all the kids did too.
So a memory we have of Bubby Gloria, or that I have, is going to the needlepoint store with her and our hobby together at needlepointing. That was something we always did together, and we would always call each other with updates about our needlepoint or questions. She'd always send me thread in Washington. And I still even have some notes she sent with when she would send me the threads, and so that's a hobby that I miss doing with her. And every time I look at my needle points, I always think about Eema, and I'm in the middle of finishing the to-fill-in bag that she was making for Yitzi. So that's very special. And then another memory. Hi. And then another memory I have of Bubby Gloria is when I was in Israel for the year in seminary. I was very homesick, and I would call home very often. I think Miriam and Penny could attest to that. And Eema knew how homesick I was, so every week she would send me a card. She'd buy a card and she would write a little note in it, letting me know that she was thinking of me, and I hung up all the cards on my wall in seminary, and it was so special that she would do that. She never missed a week. Some weeks she would write something small in it, some weeks she'd fill up the whole card, but she never missed a week sending me a card in the mail in Israel. And I saved all those cards and I have them, and I still look back at them, and sometimes when I read them I could hear her saying what she wrote, and I'll cherish those cards forever.
I only knew her for a short time, but she always made me feel like I was one of her children. And we only have fond memories of the time that she and Abba would come out to Washington. And even though she was on vacation, she'd always do her best to make sure that we were doing okay. She took us to buy our couch and was always looking at to make sure that we were well situated, and she always wanted the best for us. And we all miss her.
Yeah. Is Billy holding the baby?
That's all charted.
I had the honor of making my Bubby a Bubby. I feel so privileged that I was able to know my Bubby the longest, as I am the oldest grandchild. I'm so lucky that my Bubby was able to be at my bat mitzvah with me and that we were able to dance together. Every time my Bubby and Zadie would travel anywhere, my Bubby always made sure to bring me back a piece of jewelry. And I'm so lucky that she was able to sew me my very own jewelry box that I use every morning, and I think of her when I put on my jewelry each and every day. My Bubby also told me when I was younger not to bite my nails because she said when I was older I'd thank her one day. Thank you, Bubby.
My bar mitzvah was a bit over a year ago, and although Bubby couldn't be there, it was still so special that she made my tefillin bag for me. And I'm very lucky to have been the first grandson to have gotten it. I miss Bubby, and every day when I put in my tefillin, I think of her.
I miss my Bubby every day when I daven at school or at home or anywhere. In my davening, I say and over in my head, I wish Mashiach would be here so I could see Bubby again, and I wish to be kind like her.
I remember when me, Kobe, and Moshe, we used to go to Bubby and Zadie's for a sleepover, and I remember one time we tried to stay up to midnight, and it didn't end up working out because me and Moshe, we ended up falling asleep before midnight because we were really tired, and then Kobe still stayed up to midnight, and then he was alone and he didn't want to go to sleep alone. So then Bubby came in the room and she was very caring and thoughtful, and she brought Kobe to her room so he wouldn't be alone. And then in the morning when we woke up, me and Moshe were looking around the house because we couldn't find Kobe, and then he came out of Zadie's room and he told us what happened. And so I'm very thankful to have a Bubby who's very caring and thoughtful, and it's always fun to go to their house and run around in the backyard and play. I miss you so much, Bubby.
The night before I was getting my first tooth pulled out, Bobby told me that if I was going to be brave, then she would take me to the toy store to get something. So after I got my tooth pulled out, Bobby took me to the toy store, and I was debating between 2 Lego sets. So she said I could get both of them, and then she got one for Yoni so that he wouldn't be jealous.
One of the things I remember about my Bobby is that she let me use her big backyard for my option party. It was really fun and I had a great time. I really miss my Bobby and spending time with her.
When me and Abby were 3, we would get in trouble at Bubby's house. So one time I wanted to paint Abby's toenails. So when I went upstairs, I got nail polish from Dini's room and I started painting his nails, and then it spilled all over the carpet. Then when Bubby saw, she didn't get mad because she didn't want us to make us feel bad. Because Bubby always wanted us to be happy and not sad. And we miss Bubby every day.
I miss Bubby so much. She used to help me. And she made us tennis bags and I'm looking forward to using them older. I miss you, Bubby.
I remember when we went to Blue Mountain for Bubby's 60th birthday. We went paddle boating and Bubby took us for ice cream. Bubby also used to like needle pointing. She made pictures, pillows, jewelry boxes, and more. Whenever I look at them, I think of her.
Yitzi, how old were you when Bubby passed away?
2.
And what do you remember most about Bubby?
Hugging her, kissing her, and loving her.
Do you daven for Bubby every day?
Yeah, to come back from Shemayim.
Okay. And you want to sing a song to Bubby?
Yes.
Okay, here it goes. I love you, Bubby.
Action. I miss Bubby when Ashia comes back.
You want Mashiach to come really soon?
Yeah, I miss her. I love you, Buddy, and you're pretty.
In Chaim's photo book.
Love you, Bobby, Gloria.
And we miss
you. So. Now I can have my tree.
Eitan, who is this?
Bobby.
Yeah, and what did you want to say about Bubby?
I miss you, Bobby. I love you, Bobby.
And her whole goal in life was to see other kids, to see you, and to see other kids like you, to see all her grandkids. And she looks at you every day, and she looks down on you, and she smiles on you, and she helps protect you, and she loves you very much.
Bobby got made of this pillow. I love it, but he wants to come down. This is Bobby Gloria's picture. We want Mrs. now.
Bubby, Benjamin. Yeah, Bubby.
Did I ever tell you you're my hero? You're everything, everything I wish I could be. Oh, and I can fly higher than an eagle. You are the wind beneath my wings. 'Cause you are the wind beneath my wings. Oh, the wind beneath my wings.
Hi, my name is Clinky. My
Name?
is after my Bobby, and a good girl like my Bobby. Miss you, Bobby. We miss you, Bobby. We miss you, Bobby, and we won't forget you. We love you, Bobby. We love you, Bobby.
We love you, Bubby, and we'll miss you always.